Let's talk about time. See, the average human life expectancy is 72 years. I know this because I Googled it. Each year that passes means that we've gotten through another 365 days, which is roughly equivalent to 525,600 minutes. I know this because I am absolutely in love with the musical Rent, and Seasons of Love is one of my favorite songs of all time. But let's be real about time. 72 years may be the average, but it's not guaranteed. Much like it's never promised that we'll make it to our next birthday. I know this because I never got the chance to say goodbye to some of the people that changed my life. One minute they were there, smiling. The next, they were gone. See, when our lives end, we rarely ever get a warning. We rarely ever get a 2 weeks notice telling us to finish up our business before we go. I know this because I left some flowers at my grandma's grave once. And on the way to see her, I stopped at the grave of a kid who didn't even make it to his first birthday. And I didn't know him, but I couldn't help but think of all the things he missed out on. Bouncy houses, juice boxes and popsicles after hot summer days of running around playing as if there were no tomorrow, taking off training wheels, Happy Meals, first kisses which may or may not have been attached to first dates, falling in love, and falling off of all the things he shouldn't have been playing on in the first place. The first days of school that never seemed to end, followed up by reminiscing about simpler times, graduating, working, coming home after long days of work and crashing, chasing after dreams, all of that. Gone before he had the chance to speak his first word. I think about that sometimes. See, I think we as humans forget sometimes how short life is. Even assuming we reach the average life expectancy of 72, in the grand scheme of time, those 72 years will go by in an instant. And if you don't believe me, think back to when you were 4 years old. See, when I was that age, I used to think that I would never grow up. In fact, I couldn't wait for it. And it feels like just yesterday, I was 3 feet tall wearing hand-me-downs on my first day of kindergarten. Now I'm sitting here in my garage talking to you, about to head into my second year of college with a beard I have no idea what to do with. See, as we get older, time passes so much faster. It keeps going no matter what. And I think one of the worst traps we can fall into as humans is believing that we have time. Believing that there's enough time to do all the things we want to do and say all the things we need to say. I'm going to repeat myself until I drill this into your minds. Tomorrow isn't promised. Today isn't promised. The next 5 seconds are not promised. Life is precious and fragile. Numbers are deceiving, you see. 525,600 minutes in hindsight feels more like a second. Even so, I sometimes live as though I have forever. And I know I'm not alone in that. And I can tell you that that's a recipe for regret. Because when you feel like there's always another chance, another day, another time, it's easy to push things aside. It's easy to let the things you want to do go undone. It's even easier to let the things you need to say go unsaid. So let's move the discussion about time from time itself to what we can do with the time we have left. See, for me, I like to think about it like this. This is the amount of time I would like to think I have left. And this is the amount of time I tell myself I have left. So with every minute and every second of my day, I try to do things that bring me joy. I make time for things that make me smile like an absolute idiot, and I don't like forcing it. And what I mean by that is, not every minute of our lives has to be spent doing super cool things. Because I don't think life is about seeking photos for Instagram and all that. But we should be spending our time, not wasting it on things that don't better us or bring us happiness. And it's not as hard as it sounds. Sure, we all have responsibilities, and I'm not saying that we should disregard them, but what I am saying is that there's always something we can control that will affect our happiness. From the people we surround ourselves with, to the things we do in our free time, it's the little things. See, for me, it's hanging out with the people I love and drinking way too much kombucha, singing all the songs from every musical I've ever watched while walking down the street, shooting hoops, going on mini adventures on weekdays, and making videos. Because this gives me a chance to say all the things I need to say in the moments I need to say them the most. And when I look back on the scrapbook of my life, I want it to be filled with smiles. And I want to know that I left no stone unturned, no word left unspoken. See, that kid who didn't make it to his first birthday reminds me that I still have a chance to live. And you better believe I'm going to try my best to make the most out of it. So I leave you with the question, what will you do with the time you have left?